Jarek Tadla is here. He is the founder and CEO of People Choice Apartments. Welcome, Jarek, to Office Hours.
How are you?
I am fantastic.
That's
Well,
what
we're going from faith to we're going from the faith code to another critical issue in business and life, which is your book, Not Enoughness. It's the gift and the curse of humility, counter-entwined in understanding the relentless battle that people suffer from today more than ever. The fastest growing cause of death in all geographic demographics is, believe it or not, suicide. And people are not dealing with not enoughness well enough in order to save lives. So thank you for joining us to hopefully elevate some awareness and give us some tools so that we don't feel or sink into not enoughness. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. But you know what, to begin with, it's really...
Yeah, let's start with your gripping memoir, where you yourself dealt with the battle of suicidal thoughts and depression and a feeling of not enoughness.
Okay. It's funny. The most I experienced the feeling when I lost my faith. I have to redevelop, like I have to reignite everything from within me. And it's like I keep saying my entire life, I was searching for validation from outside world. And when I got everything, I just realized that's not what it is, because I forgot about myself, about the most important asset, our soul and our mind. And I have to rediscover, and I rediscover through faith. Because when you lose your faith, then you lose yourself. So.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we live in this society where, especially, and I'll speak from the perspective of manhood because we're three men having this conversation, where we're told as men to share your emotions, talk about the things, do the work, and yet it's actually thrown in your face more often than not. How did you have the courage to not only write this book, but to have such a hard conversation publicly?
When I really hit the bottom of the bottom, I was in bed for literally for almost 2 months. And I couldn't figure out how did I get here. I'm on the top of the mountains. I got everything I could ever imagine. Everything stuck up by rules of society. I have everything that possibly can anybody dream of. So I was had the perfect life. Very successful business, very successful relationships. I was healthy. I thought I was healthy financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and I have the all generational wealth. And I forgot about the most important thing, me. I was doing all this stuff for everybody else, and everything else can be taken away from you. You know what I mean? During divorce, when my kids stopped talking to me, I lost my kids for a year or two. You know what I mean? This stuff could be taken away from me. During divorce, also, you lose your spouse. And I realized I gave identity to somebody else, not myself. And even I accomplished everything else, I was still empty inside. And when I start opening up, I start connecting with so many people. It's, no, Yarek, you don't go through this. I'm like, yes, I do. And first of all, it was very intimate. I wasn't on podcasts. I wasn't on the cameras. I was like a very intimate cycle. It's like, he's my friend. And he goes, I thought you got everything figured out. I have this poker face. And then one person, and I see like sharing my feelings and my emotions, how much it helps me. And then the rooms got bigger and bigger. I was like, yeah, Yarek, you got to share your story. And and it was not easy, guys. Like seriously, for a guy, so telling like you crying, you weak, you empty, and talk about feelings and emotions, especially in my culture. Like we are like my father, always poker face, always strong, no smiling, no nothing. It doesn't matter what, oh, you gotta be a man. And it's funny, I thought the same thing to my son. It just shut up, you gotta be a man. Don't be stop. So the same thing, I moved from one generation to I started doing this to my kids. And I realized I have to just open up and just share my feelings, emotions, and mostly my experience and when they add up, because the whole society is looking for their financial freedom. And when you get there, there's not the answers if you skip so many steps. And in the meantime, I lost my faith. I was Polish. I become from the Catholic Church. I stopped believing in the priests and all the stuff that is going to tell me how to raise my kids, how to be a good husband. They never have kids. and telling me how to live my life. So because I lost faith in priest, automatically I lost the faith in God. But when I find faith in God, I've lost faith in myself, and then everything crumbled.
It's
So
interesting.
I had to discover.
Yada, it's interesting because we spend so much of our lives thinking that the relationships that we have with family and friends and associates and vendors and employees and all these people outside of us, that we can rely on those relationships. But we can only rely on our perception of those relationships because, unfortunately, part of human nature is to let other human beings down. That's just part of human nature. And it's nothing that can't be forgiven or we can't be grateful for, that human nature. But the relationship as I get older, from the most fulfilled and passionate and purposeful people that are the happiest people, the only relationship that they can count on requires faith. And it's their faith in that relationship with themselves and something bigger than them that loves them more than their mom, more than their wives, more than their children, more than the people that work for you and the vendors and the fans of the world and the sycophants of the world, but is one relationship that you can rely on. How did you find that relationship back or create that relationship back in your life? Because your basement had a basement. You were facing things that a lot of people don't even want to think about, especially coming from your culture. How did you bring that relationship back into your life?
Yeah, it's funny, like there's a big difference between spirituality and religion, and that how did I get awakened, what I was chosen. I think because the reason it's because I didn't have any empathy for myself. So when I had at the bottom of the bottom, I didn't have any other choice to surrender. And it's funny, I did not, I'm a very successful entrepreneur, but yet even my office, I was so toxic, I was so broken inside. Like we say, hurt people, but I was so broken inside that even my businesses, my offices, my everybody's, yeah, just go through a process, but stay away because I can hurt other people, my kids, my parents, my partner, and even I could hurt my own business. I could not even deal with another, even negotiate a deal, and my deals are big. I don't do small deals. I could not even negotiate the deal because I was negotiating out of the ego. Yet all my best deals in my life, I did, and my deals are pretty big, and they always make from my heart, from my gut, from my soul. But yet I was operating from here because I tried to look at for validation, and I figured that this is not what it's all about. And when I went too deep, like why, just when you in silence for so many days and you depressed, and I'm not sedating, I don't do any drugs, I don't drink, I have a great body, like I have only 1 digit body fat, businesses, like I have everything right. Yet I have no answers. And just being in the peace and finally surrender, the answers are coming. But then I have to rebuild myself and rebuild the resilience, rebuild the faith, but mostly faith in myself. Because I'm bigger, because we are not our thoughts. So I have to give, my queen always tells me, Yara, can you please give the same advice you're giving other people, give it to yourself. But it's yet so hard to give the same advice to you because you're emotionally attached. Like people ask me, like, why are you so financially successful? Because I never have attachments to money. I never have when you don't want to negotiate with me, man. I'm horrible. I have no attachment. I have no, if it happens, it doesn't. I can do this everywhere else. I couldn't do it with myself. So I have to learn my own skills and go from my ego to my soul and connect my mind and my soul together and go for the walk. First, they went for the fight, and then they went for the walk. It's like, we're going to guide you. And I'm like, God, please help me. Just God help me. And then everything from there, it got me where I'm at today. And I'm very grateful. I never understood it was, if you asked me a few years ago, what do you mean, like you in the plane, and just like get the oxygen, give it to yourself first and then give it to others. If you talked to me 5 years ago, what are they talking about? My kids first. I got 5 kids. My kids first. My wife, my parents. Oh, there's older people than me on the plane. Let's give it to me. I never understood. I was like, what are you talking about? First, I never give it to myself. When I start feeding myself, and that's not being selfish, that's not being, it just really give the faith and feel your soul. That's when you're ready to give, and then abundance comes. And then the resilience comes, and then everything all prosper. Even in the businesses, in the relationship, it's like suddenly you get a lot healthier emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. Everything just comes together. But I think it's really based on faith. For years, I never told people, like I meditate for the last 8 years. I was telling people I meditate. I don't hide right now. I pray. I don't hide. Like I do pray. Like the first thing in the morning, when I was so young, I was telling, I got this. I don't need God. I got this. And for the last 3-4 years, guys, my morning prayer every day, till now, God, I'm sorry. I thought I got this. I don't need you. I'm sorry. And that's my prayer, every morning prayer.
And a great prayer that is. And understanding not enoughness is a gift and a curse. This is a gripping memoir to help people. And Yadek, with his humility and vulnerability, helps share that story that so many of us are living today in the shadows, in the fear of illuminating who we are and where we want to be or better. Yadek Tadla, check out the book. He's the CEO of People's Choice Apartments. Instagram at Tadla Yadek. Please follow him as well. Check it out at .com right there, posted below. Yadek, please come back. I can't wait to read the book, and congratulations, releasing August 2024. What a great gift and a curse not enoughness is. Thank you for illustrating it. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Okay, bye.
Great job.